Welcome to the garden. That was a little wild turkey. Today I want to share with you guys just a few clips from around the garden of some of the wildlife that's come back this spring. A few flowers maybe, a few little projects I've got going on. We're getting our chives to flower now. Look at that. They're starting to burst open, some of them, like this one. It's so cool. Pretty soon the pollinators are going to be all over this. Look how they kind of fade though, as the line continues. A couple geese. But they really like that full sun. I've even continued this row. These are brand new transplants here, just last year, but they're already flowering as well. And they'll thicken up over time. They go from one little stalk into big clusters like this eventually. They're so prolific, they're amazing. And our wild strawberries look really nice. These are really not for harvesting, they're just kind of a little ground cover for me. But they're very soft. They have these lovely strawberry flowers. And you do actually get fruit. They're just insanely small. That's almost a full-grown fruit. I know it doesn't look like it, but they just stay really tiny. So we'll do a taste test of those if we can get any fruit. But they provide wonderful habitat for wildlife. If we look down here, got a beautiful flower, but just to the right is a little bug. Gorgeous little green beetle. So he's just hanging out under here. But the bees, especially the small carpenter bee, those really tiny little native bees, they love these. Even things like flies will pollinate these, and ants. But I'm sure there's just probably tons of life under here. We really create an excellent habitat for things like frogs and toads, even salamanders. We get some of those. I just love it. I was just filming some strawberries and look what showed up. Can you see them? There's about a dozen little goslings. I hope I don't spook them. Really wish I could show them that I would never hurt them. They're so cute. They use my trails too. I love that. It's so cool to see wildlife use them, and everything uses those trails. The wild turkeys love the trails, the deer especially, but little things like squirrels even, and little woodchucks, they just love it. We got a woodchuck. I think he's nesting in that tunnel that we have, which is bad news. If he blocks the tunnel, we could have a flooded house. So I'm scaring him off. I just opened my compost bin, and there's a little veil of a spider web across the entire thing. I brought out my spray bottle so we can kind of highlight them in the sun. Can you see the rainbow? That's so cool. There we go. That should be good. So look at that. That is amazing. Look at that network. It's such a beautiful, complex web. So even a rainbow suspended in the web right now. That's beautiful. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm glad I brought out that sprayer. It's been a few weeks since we've harvested the first of our rhubarb, and look at the size of these leaves now. When it's forced, you get about the same size stems. They're a lighter pink because they don't have that green from the chlorophyll, turning them a kind of a maroon. And they have tiny, tiny leaves. These are just massive now. I can still see a little remnant of that yellowing from when we were forcing them. We got some brand new asparagus. They started off so small that they're just little ferns already. But these just shot up from seed, I'm assuming. These little red berries have like 3 or 4 seeds in them. So I just like to let them drop naturally. I've also sown some around the garden in other parts. But they do start off really, really small. They take a long time to grow. So you need really a lot of patience for the first couple years. The next year they'll probably look more like this one, where they'll still be really small, probably too small to eat, but they're large enough to where they'll grow up pretty tall. And then after a couple years you'll get nice hardy spears like this. Believe it or not, there's a flower right in the center of the frame. Let's zoom in. Isn't that beautiful? It's just tiny. Looks like a little tiny rosemary plant, but it's not. It's a little ground cover. Here's another little wildflower. It's growing just off of the trail, but I'm just letting it flower for now until it produces seed, when I'll pull it as a weed. But for now it has these lovely little white flowers, tiny little clusters. I just love all these little wildflowers. Kind of looks like one of my lettuces. It's beautiful. But there's a whole bunch. There's even some really, really tiny ones here. So I'm just going to let them go for now. I don't mind. I'm just letting all the wildflowers go, really. Even things like dandelions. Up until they produce seed, then I'll pull them as a weed. just let me know if you guys like this type of video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.